So here we are at AutoZone trying to find something, and I'm having some trouble locating it. But we're going to try to see if our local AutoZone has it. Helpers. Is it cold? What do you got there? Alright, welcome back to day 2 of our transmission removal clutch swap. Today I'm going to go ahead and remove the clutch and check out the flywheel. The flywheel is anywhere from $600 to $1,400 depending on if you buy aftermarket or Nissan OEM, so I'm going to try to clean it up as long as it's not grooved, cracked, or heat damaged or anything like that. The clutch wasn't slipping very long, so it should be fine. I'll probably just clean it up with some Scotch-Brite pads on my die grinder. Kind of doing the affordable budget route. And like I said, it's just a factory clutch replacement, and I'm just trying to buy some time before I think about or decide on what I want to upgrade to. So I'll try to get you guys underneath the car and check out everything once I get set up. Alright guys, so we're back underneath the car here. We're going to remove this clutch and get it out the way so that we can prep the flywheel for the new clutch and everything. Hopefully you can see what's going on and try to get some light under here so you can see. Basically I'm taking an old Nissan clutch alignment tool. I'm going to stick it in here to hold the disc so that I can go ahead and remove the 12mm bolts that are around the perimeter of the clutch plate so that we can get this bad boy off. Alright, if you can see, there is some definitely some wear there. We have not quite made it to the rivets, which is a good sign. That means hopefully the flywheel will not be damaged, but it's pretty close. Obviously, it is definitely time to change it. There's some coloration change there indicating that it was in fact slipping. So yeah, we caught it at a good time, and hopefully that means that the flywheel is not damaged, which we'll check out here next. Alright, there is some glaze marks on there. Nothing too bad. Should be able to clean this up and reuse it, because honestly I can't afford at the moment a new flywheel, and since this is a dual mass flywheel, it is fairly expensive. Actually, it's ridiculously expensive. So we're just going to reuse this one. I don't see any real major signs of damage, anything like cracks or anything like that. Nothing that's out of the normal. Normally I would send this to a machinist and just have them resurface it, but due to this design, they're extremely complicated. It's extremely complicated to resurface these. Only select shops have the actual equipment. From my understanding is you can't just hook them to like a normal lathe or anything and just cut them down like normal. You actually have to mill them. And there's another process. I can't remember what they called it, but either way, it's, you know, I don't have the time to try to find a shop and wait for them to get to it and everything. I kind of need the car back up on the road. So we're going to take some Scotch-Brite on a die grinder and basically break all this glaze and freshen the surface up just to clean it up and get the new clutch to be able to wear into it. This is just a kind of a budget fix to get the car back on the road and drivable again. Later down the road, if I get a year or two out of this, you know, I'll probably be upgrading to something different anyways. I just didn't expect for this to go out now, and I really just need to get the car up and running so I can have my daily driver back. So we'll upgrade this later, but for now this will get the job done, and this will get us back on the road. Like I said, in a perfect world you'd want to replace this or find a shop that can resurface this or refinish it, but you know, like I say, doing what I can with what I got, I'm gonna make this work, which I've had camera died. I've had luck with this in the past, so it's not like I haven't tried this before. It does work, just not necessarily recommended by the keyboard warriors and all that stuff. But in the real world, this process does work and can get you back on the road when you're in a situation like this where your daily driver's down due to unplanned maintenance, and you want to get it back up and running at an affordable cost. Not everybody's made of money, and you know, got to do it. So, all right, stay tuned. Alright, she's all cleaned up. So now I can go ahead and get the clutch and put it on there. Alright, YouTube. So we just finished cleaning up the flywheel and everything like that. Got the surface, like I said, it had no cracks or anything, so I just went over with the Scotch-Brite, pat on my die grinder, cleaned it up. It's smooth. You know, we're going to have to change the pilot bearing, pilot bushing in this case, which will be interesting. I don't have the tool or anything like that. I've seen a lot of things about using bread and wet paper. So we're probably going to give them a shot and see what works. You know, I'll try to film that as well. But I just want to go over the clutch for you because I found something interesting to confirm some internet hearsay that I think everyone may be interested in that's looking for a stock replacement for their clutch on their 350Z, 370Z, G35, possibly G37. I'm not exactly sure which applications this goes to, but it'll be interesting. I'll show you in a second. Alright, I'm back. So my better half decided to stop by and say hi. She just got home from work and everything. So back to what I was saying. So the internet speculation that I had read when I was looking for parts to buy to replace my clutch was that the factory clutch from Nissan, which when I looked it up, Nissan wanted above $800 for the clutch kit, was nothing more than a lot of people say it's Exidi. It's not Exidi, but it is in fact a Luke, L-U-K. Which is actually what I purchased. So I'll show you here. This is the Luke, Luck, you know, however you want to pronounce it. I've always called it Luke, but it's probably Luck. Anyways, it's a Rep Set Pro. So if you open this up, this is everything that you get. You get the pressure plate, and there it is. And if you look right here, it says Luck. And then you get the clutch disc, which also says Luck. Right there, and it's a Vallejo, and then you get a slave cylinder, which is a Vallejo, and everything. So you get that, you get the alignment tool, you get some spline lube, and you get a pilot bushing. All right, so that is your basic set that you get, and I paid $190 for this off of Amazon. So Nissan wanted $800, I paid $190. Now let's move over to the factory Nissan clutch. So here's the factory Nissan clutch, and I'm going to spray this a little bit just to clean it up so you can see here that this is in fact, hopefully that comes out, this is in fact a Nissan clutch. And here is the Nissan factory part number right there. But if you look real close, and right here, you will see this is actually a Luck clutch. And the flywheel, if you look right there, it is a Luck clutch too. So Nissan wants $800 for what you can buy from Luck for $192. That is outrageous. I cannot believe that they think they can get away with that. That is just ridiculous. But this confirms the internet speculation that the factory clutch, which cost $800, $900, almost $1,000, and that Nissan dealerships want to charge $2,000 for this job. They want to basically try to, you know, 400% markup. Like, that is just ridiculous. The flywheel, which from Nissan was $1,400 when I looked it up, it's probably nothing else than a Luck as well, which you can get for $500. So all in all, you can get this stuff for $700. Now, the reason why I didn't buy the flywheel was because if I was going to spend $700 for a clutch and flywheel, and it be a stock set, I did not see that being financially wise when I could purchase a single mass conversion flywheel and a upgraded clutch for $700 to $1,000. The problem was I don't really have the money just sitting around because I have some contractors coming out to do some work around the house, and that's taking up most of my money right now. So I didn't have the money just sitting aside to blow $1,000 on this repair. So I went ahead and just purchased a clutch and cleaned up the flywheel because I do want to upgrade in the future. I really love this car, and I'm used to kind of modifying things to fit my driving style. And an upgraded clutch is one thing that I feel this car does need. The stock clutch it bit great and it's perfectly fine, but considering that I tend to drive it a bit hard, and I like the feel of an aggressive clutch that kind of bites a little harder than this does. I will be upgrading. The rattle that people talk about also kind of made me hesitant to go ahead and jump into doing it right now. So I'm trying to find someone who has a single mass conversion done on a 350Z or 370Z, G35, G37, so that I can see what exactly how bad it is. Because the videos, it sounds kind of bad, but I want to hear it in person just so I can fully make my decision on what I want to do. Because this is my daily driver, and I do not want to be sitting at a light and people thinking my car is broken and stuff like that, or me be annoyed by the rattle of the single mass flywheel. So until I have more information, I just wanted to choose the affordable route to fix my vehicle. So yeah, there you have it. And then this slave cylinder came with the clutch kit, which really surprised me because the cheapest I could find this was like $100, and Nissan wanted $200 for this. And when I compared the pictures, they're both Valeos and everything. So honestly, I saw no reason why to buy Nissan's parts. Normally, I am a guy that on cars that I really care about, like my S13, the G35 and stuff, I try to buy the highest quality parts I can afford. And that usually means like my wheel bearings. I had a wheel bearing that was starting to growl. I went ahead and bought two. And after some parts investigation, I went with Timken's because they were half the cost of Nissan bearings. And when I pulled them out of the box, I believe they were NSN or NTK, one of the Japanese high quality bearings, which is very common of Timken's to be just reboxed high quality bearings. And I've done that a lot. So for the price of one Nissan bearing, I got both of them. So if you do a little investigation, you can find really high quality parts from aftermarket suppliers. You just got to know what you're looking for. So with that being said, I try to spare no expense when it comes to the cars that I really am trying to prolong and keep for a long time. I don't like throwing just cheap parts at them, but at the same time, I don't want to give my money to the dealership and buy their parts when I feel that they're charging way too much. So some things I do buy from Nissan. So like I bought this new slave cylinder tube. This is the tube that actually goes to the slave cylinder, which I'm not going to pull out of the plastic right now, but basically, I bought that from Nissan because that was only like $30, and in the factory manual it says anytime the transmission is replaced, you must replace the slave cylinder and tube. That's probably because of the chance of leaks with O-rings and stuff like that. They don't want to pull the transmission, do whatever you need to do, put it back in, and then you develop a leak where you have to pull the transmission again. So I went ahead and bought that. I bought the kit that in the TSB, because there's a TSB for the slave cylinder on some of these cars. It comes with this kit. It comes with some exhaust gaskets, some bolts. I purchased that from Nissan because it wasn't that expensive, and it came with the high quality metal gaskets, and new lock nuts for the I think they're for the drive shafts and stuff like that. So those types of things I go to Nissan and buy. But certain other things like the clutch itself, once I found out that there was a good chance it was just a luck clutch, I went ahead and went straight to Luck and purchased it from them, and it turns out they're identical. I bet the part number on the disc is probably even the same. Actually, right here on the back of the clutch, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but right here it says 68405, and right there it also says 68405. So, I mean, like I said, they're the same exact clutch. Save your money. Buy the Luck if you're looking for a stock replacement. Alright, back to work. Alright, YouTube. So the next part of this is to get the pilot bushing out. So, like I said, I don't really have the tool, but we're going to try the bread trick. Never done this. I have no idea if it's going to work, but it sounded really interesting and kind of funny. So I figured it'd be kind of amusing to go ahead and see what it does. So yeah, let's see if it works. Well, so far this doesn't seem to be working. I don't know if the YouTube videos, either the people are just really lucky or mine is just really stuck in there. But yeah, I'm having some trouble. So I'm going to mess with this a little bit longer, and then hopefully I'll get it out. Alright YouTube, so I'm back to try this again. I was thinking maybe the plastic alignment tool, the spare I had that I was using to try to punch the pilot bushing out was too soft and wasn't transferring the energy as well as it could. So what I did is I had some 5/8 stock lying around that I just chopped on the bandsaw real quick, and it's the perfect diameter of the input shaft, so hopefully this will be more rigid and actually transfer the energy to the bread to get the bread to push the pilot bushing out. So we're going to try that. Believe it or not, it's working. I'm pretty amazed that it is actually working. Oh, so that's what the problem was. The plastic was just not strong enough to transfer enough energy to the bread to give it the hydraulic pressure. Basically, is what I'm cheating here. But so you need something kind of rigid. And if you have a Nissan, I'd check 5/8 seems to be the perfect size for this. Oh yeah, she's almost out of there. Some more fluffy goodness here. Gives me another reason why I like bread, I guess. This is pretty amazing. I seen this on YouTube and I was like, no way this works. And I thought they had to have removed the bushing and modified it to make it loose, and then it you know, would work. But in real life, this is actually working. I'm not sure this is any faster than using the actual tool, but I find it interesting to know that I can do this if I'm ever in a situation where I don't have the tool and can't get one in time. And there she is. Look at that. That is amazing. Some bread, and she's out of there. Boom. Another job done. Alright, so now I'll go ahead and clean all the bread out of there, spray it all down, clean it up, and then I'll get the clutch, and we'll get it all back assembled, and then from there on it'll be just trying to get the bolts torqued and the transmission put back in. Oh yeah, we're making progress. We're going to be installing the pilot bushing now, and then cleaning the flywheel one last time to prep it for the new clutch. Alright guys. Alright guys, there we go. Pilot bushing is now installed, and now it's ready for the clutch plate and disc and everything. But check out my other video where I did an unboxing of this tool. This is a bearing and bushing set tool. It actually worked out really nicely. I mean, as you've seen, you know, a few good taps and she's in there right where she needs to be. So all in all, I got this at Harbor Freight, and you can check out my other video for information on that. But it worked as it should. Alright YouTube, I'm going ahead and changing the slave cylinder out. So basically you have a star bit, or Torx bit, whatever you want to call it. It is a... oh, that's weird. My tool is not marked with this size. How awesome is that? So yeah. Anyways, it's that size. Yeah, sorry, it's not labeled, so I'm not exactly sure what size it is, but it's probably a T48 or something like that, I'm guessing, but I don't know for sure. And anyways, as I try to get in here, there is a clip right up here that you have to remove, and once you remove the clip, it pulls out, then the line will disconnect, and then once the line's disconnected, then you can basically undo the, looks like 10mm bolts in there. I think there's 3 of them, it looks like, and then you will pull your slave cylinder off of the thing. So you just pull that up like that, And then if I can get in here, because I'm working in limited room, that line pops out like so. And since I already unbolted it, I'm just going to pull it out with this rubber boot like so. And there is our slave cylinder line, which they recommend you replace every time the transmission's off, along with the slave cylinder. Like I said, the only reasoning I can see to that is due to O-rings. I'm sure you could probably put a new O-ring on this, and I will keep this part as a spare and look into that later on. But you know, it's 30 bucks, and Nissan wants about 160 to 200 bucks for the slave cylinder. You can get on Rock Auto for just under $100, and then order this from Nissan for 36 bucks or something like that. So all in all, with shipping, you're under 150 bucks, and you're getting the line and the slave cylinder. And as you've seen earlier in the video, the slave cylinder I bought from Luck is a Vallejo, and the clutch is all Luck. So I'm sure Nissan's is just a reboxed. I mean, actually, if you look at the pictures, it even says Vallejo on it. So it's all the same part. So you might as well save the money, buy it from Rock Auto, and then buy this from Nissan, and replace both of them like you're supposed to, and still save 30 to 50 bucks. All right, so I'm going to go get some new parts and whatnot, and probably, well, actually, you know, I'll go ahead and remove the slave cylinder while I'm in here. Up here. It looks like, well, okay. And, oops, there's just 2 bolts. Yep, just 2 bolts. I thought there was 3. Not the easiest job in the world working under here, but you know, it's getting done, so that's all that matters. All right, there she is. She's off. So I'll just this jack actually has these little trays. I'm sure it's for the rod used to lift it, but it actually is really nice for just throwing little parts like this in the meantime while you're moving around, so you don't lose them. So, yep, I'm gonna go get some parts, and then I'm gonna probably spray and clean up the bell housing and everything. So I'll bring you back when I am to the point of reinstallation. Alright, YouTube, so here's my replacement slave cylinder. So basically, you just go and pull this clip up. Well, not necessarily off of it, but pull it up enough for you to get this out. Alright, we're going to take our old line, and we're going to take off the rubber boot here, off our old line. And so that's got to go with the bracket, so it goes on like this, so that this notch right here is on the same side as this bracket here. So just so you can see the orientation, hopefully you can see that. But so notch lines up on the same side as the bracket that mounts it. And then we're going to put this on with our notch facing the same direction as the bracket, like so. This little cap will come off. And we're going to take this and insert it into there, like so. And push our clip down. And now she is been seated. And then on the outside of the transmission, we're going to put our screw back in that holds it on here with our handy dandy unlabeled torque driver. Wherever I put that thing, there it is. Now she's all nice and tight and clipped in, and hopefully we don't have any issues, because the problem is if we have any issues, it's fucking pulling, excuse me, it's pulling the transmission back out, and I don't want to do that. So this thing was fairly tight, and I'm just gonna take my pliers and put it on here and give it a little snug click click torque wrench. Alright, so now that that's done. Alright guys, so here's where I'm at right now. I just got the clutch installed. I would have tried to get some footage of that, but my battery only have one GoPro battery, and you know, after filming all morning and being underneath the car, I haven't really had a chance to charge it much, so it was pretty much dead. So I put it on the charger for a little bit so that I could get some more footage underneath the car. And I'm getting to a point where it's not going to be practical to really try to film while I'm doing the next step, which is pretty much going to be installing the transmission. But I wanted to go over some things real quick. I used the clutch alignment tool and put the clutch disc on, and then sprayed the pressure plate off in case they put any oil on the face of it to prevent it from rusting. Cleaned that up, and then installed it. And then I just wanted to talk about the torque sequence for the bolts here. Hopefully you can see everything. But basically there's three groups of three here, and 3 here, and you have to do it in 2 stages. The first stage is 11 foot-pounds, the second stage is 29 foot-pounds, and the sequence is basically you go middle bolt is 1, middle bolt 2, middle bolt 3, and then you go outer bolt 4, outer bolt 5, outer bolt 6, and then this bolt 7, 8, 9. So yeah, that's basically each time you're tightening the bolt, you're basically doing a crisscross pattern on the groups, and you're going from middle to the right, and then hitting the left bolt as your last step. And you're going to do that in 2 stages, like I said. So the first, for the first series of installation, you're basically going to screw all your bolts in finger tight, put a socket wrench on there, and then slowly, gradually turn all the bolts in order, in sequence that I just showed you. Middle, 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 right, 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 left, left, left. And you're going to just keep working them until they stop, because what you're doing is you're actually making the pressure plate compress to flush it up with the flywheel. And until you get all the mounting locations pressed evenly against the flywheel, you're not actually increasing torque. So you don't want to start torquing until you slowly work all those bolts to evenly set the pressure plate against the flywheel. Once it hits the flywheel and all the surfaces have met the flywheel evenly, the bolt will just stop, and that's when you would be starting to apply torque. So you basically take a socket wrench and just slowly do that until the pressure plate is evenly set against the flywheel. Then you get your torque wrench and you'll do your first step, which is 11 foot-pounds in the sequence, which I'll do it one more time. Middle, 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 right, 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 left, left, left. So basically, you'll then torque all of that in sequence to 11 foot-pounds. Once you have reached 11 foot-pounds, you'll start over again and do it to 29 foot-pounds. And then once you get that done, your clutch is now installed. You pull your alignment tool, and you're pretty much good to go. The only thing left is to put a dab of maybe spline lube on there, and start making some adjustments with this transmission to get it back in position, raised up, and see if I can get this bad boy in. So yeah, I will bring you back when I actually get the transmission in, if all goes well. If I run into any problems, I'll give you an update, but hopefully the next update will just be me under here with the transmission back in the car. Alright guys, later. Hey guys, so to give you an update here on the G35, I kind of got carried away just working. I didn't really have a chance to get some footage of what I was doing in the process, but most of it's just the same as it was to remove it. So I'll take you underneath the car and show you where I'm at. I was able to meet my goal today and get the transmission in. I'm actually, I made some really good progress. And even had to overcome an issue I had with a bolt that holds the slave cylinder line. It's just a little security bolt, but basically it broke when I went to remove it, so I had to tap it and replace that. And I just finished with that. But as we go underneath the car here, you can see that the transmission is all installed. So, you know, I got my bracket back in, I got all the bell housing bolts, I got all the slave cylinder back in, all the wiring's done, transmission mounts installed. So, all the front facing bolts are back here. So, like I said, all the bolts up here are all done. This plate's all done. This is the bolt that I had to fix. It's fixed now and secured. new slave cylinder, new slave cylinder tube. Everything's all back together. So tomorrow I can basically, well, hopefully tomorrow or Tuesday, we'll see. I gotta actually go to work tomorrow, so we'll see how the day goes there. But pretty much it's going to be tackling putting the drive shaft in, putting the heat shields back in, the shifter, and then the exhaust. So pretty much about 70% done now, and yeah, I'm excited. So hopefully by Tuesday, well, depending if I decide to do some other stuff, hopefully by Tuesday or Wednesday I'll be driving if I don't decide to install the coilovers and other stuff I got lying around. I got it on jacks already, so I may just go ahead and do that, but I don't know yet. But this is part 2. Transmission is now installed, clutch is changed, and we'll finish with this procedure here over the next couple days after I get off work. Thanks for tagging along. Please like and subscribe. You guys have a good day.